Let's begin today's Vanguard news with a reminder that if you're sick and tired of pulling random Bang Dream collab cards in DZBT01, since it's diluting your pull rates for certain rares you need, then these new full art reveals for the VSBO collab in the Japanese version of DZBT03 will ruin your future case splits even further. And in case you still want to collect them, but don't actually want to play the deck, here are some card accessories for you to shill on. Another month comes 2 new promo cards for Grand Blue and Kagero in premium format. Anchorage Franklin has your typical V-Guard skills and cost that makes you call a unit card that isn't a sentinel to the Guardian Circle from your drop zone. Then you can pay 1 counter blast if the called unit was a normal unit to give your Vanguard 5k power for that turn. By now you should know that any card game that has an ability to revive a card for little to no cost is going to be powerful, and this is no exception. We'll just have to wait and see what kind of bullshit players manage to combo this with. Hellish Burn Dragon has your typical V-Guard skills and cost that gets 10k shields for each of your opponent's open rear guard circles. Then you can pay 1 counter blast if your opponent has 1 or less open rear guard circles to give your Vanguard 5k power for that turn. This is the only V-Guard so far that uses the 5k power as a backup plan in case the first part of the Guardian skill doesn't work properly. I'm not sure if I want to praise the innovation or criticize its execution. For the 1% who has enough income to never think about bills but decides to use their wealth on card games, here are some leader cards from Shadowverse Evolve. As you can see, a Saka is going to be very expensive for those wanting to pale their moon, if you know what I mean. Those that are buying out stealth cards due to the fear of Shiranui getting hit any day now may have some good investment as Shojodoji gets new support in DZBT03. Stealth Beast Rokurai while on rear guard. Let's put a card in hand into your soul when it boosts while you have a grade 3 or higher Shojodoji Vanguard to send a face-up card in your opponent's bind zone to the drop zone. It's one thing to be a retire ability with extra steps, it's another thing if said step will cost you a card. So unless you really want to put a specific card in hand into your soul or want to hard counter a Stria Omina Gruzia or Liel, this isn't going to see any play. Fulgent Stealth Rogue Kinran while on rear guard lets you put 2 stealth rear guards in the same column as him into your soul at the end of the battle he boosted and have a grade 3 or higher Shojodoji Vanguard to add a grade 2 or higher stealth card from your drop zone to your hand. Did Shojodoji just copied Minerva's homework? I could have sworn I was reading Rorelim's second ability. Cloudwater Flitfoot Stealth Rogue Shojodoji while on Vanguard is also regarded as peak personage Stealth Rogue Shojodoji. Once per turn while on Vanguard, you can pay 3 energy and binding 3 stealth cards in your soul to bind 2 of your opponent's rear guards, then they bind 1 card in their hand, but they return to the opponent's hand at the end of that turn. And while on Vanguard, you can put 2 rear guards into your soul when he attacks or is attacked to call up to 2 stealth cards from your bind zone to a front and back row rear guard. You call them to the Guardian Circle instead if it is your opponent's battle phase. It's a good thing that Dragon Empire generically cannot soul charge or bind cards from their drop zone, otherwise a certain stealth sentinel is going to be very abused. Stealth Dragon Ojijishi when placed on rear guard lets you put up to 1 stealth card from the top 5 cards of your deck into your soul. Then this unit gets 5k power if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher. And when it's put from rear guard into your soul during your battle phase, you can pay 1 counter blast to put 2 face-up cards in your opponent's bind zone into their drop zone. Then you gain the effect of giving all your front row stealth units 5k power. Just when you thought Shiranui couldn't use Shojodoji's stuff anymore, Bushiro devs got careless. The second ability would still work, even if you didn't send their cards from the bind zone to the drop zone, since you do as much of the skill as possible. While Season 2 of Vanguard DivineZ still has no release date, Bushiro unceremoniously revealed a new character for the series. Kuonai Kora and his main card Destined One of Infinity Leatherdress. For some reason his design reminds me of a character stereotype who steals his friend's girlfriend. This is dangerously going into NTR territory. Season 2 of Vanguard DivineZ goes from ripping off Fate Stay Night to ripping off Fate Apocrypha and the Dark Signer arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. The better question is, when will Bushiro be ripping off Fate Grand Order and Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 so that Akina and friends can visit the GNV dimension? Levitrus will be the cover of DZBT-04, and that Lyrical Monasteria will be back from their stargazing field trip. This set has also been confirmed to be getting at least 5 of 6 new units with divine skills. With any luck, Lyrical Monasteria won't have a divine skill, so it can have one in the next set as the main villain deck. Finally, get those G-Series Hot Stamp Strider unit collection ready. Harri and Nightrose will be the next Stride deck sets. Seeing as Luad and Shiranui are considered the strongest Stride deck sets due to their unique mechanics, it's going to be tough surpassing them despite their only specialty, being able to pull off multiple attacks, and be labeled as a deck set pair that cannot exist without the other. And that concludes this Vanguard news without the bullshit. Special thanks to my Patreon members for continuing to support my content creation. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments which pair of G-Series decks do you want to be the next Stride deck sets.